Hi, it's Frank again. Here I'm going to show you a simple technique to clean your airbrush after each usage. So it's a small thing, but it will keep your airbrush nice and clean and trouble-free for your next time to use it. Okay, we just sprayed the airbrush tattoo paints through this airbrush. So if you leave your airbrush dry like this, the paint's going to dry inside the airbrush and seal your nozzle and needle and make it really hard for you to spray anything out next time. So do not leave your airbrush with paint and dry. Okay, so after each time you use it, the simple thing to do to clean your airbrush is rinse through with the clean rubbing alcohol. 70% is fine. Do not use 50% rubbing alcohol because that just had too much water content. It's not good for the paint. So the simple thing to do is just load your airbrush in with rubbing alcohol and spray all the paint you have left inside. Spray till you don't see any dirty paint come out. That's normally give about 1 minute or 2 minutes spray. You don't have anything here. Now to ensure that, sometimes there's some dry paint and bigger particles stuck inside your airbrush. What you need to do is put your finger, okay, to the nozzle and backslash it. Or put your hand, and you can see the bubble inside the airbrush bottle. So that will bring some dry paint and dirty paint stuck inside the airbrush. Repeat that a few times. That's give a very nice rinse already. Now, next thing you want to do, spray all the dirty paint out, spray all the rest of the rubbing alcohol, open up the handle at the back, the checking nut, release it. This way you can pull out your needle. Very important to clean your needle. You don't want any residue or dirty paint stuck on your needle. Okay, just give it a wipe and spray through, let the air dry inside the airbrush, and put your needle back like that. Okay, so that's good. And put your needle back in. So you finished a quick cleaning of your airbrush. Now inside the airbrush is nice and clean. Now, if you're in a gig at an event, you don't have time to do this, or you have a gig or event come on next week and you still need your airbrush nice and clean, to ensure that, what you could do is take a jar and put your airbrush in like this. And I like to do is pour more rubbing alcohol into the jar and soak my airbrush in. Don't worry about rusting, don't worry about its rubbing alcohol. It's kill all the bacteria inside. It will sanitize it as well. So your airbrush could stay in bath for as long as you want. Okay, so now just be careful when you put into amount of rubbing alcohol. You don't want to put too much of it. You don't want the rubbing alcohol soak all the way up there. You want to go just about where the paint's reservoir is. Okay, just about here. That's good enough, because sometimes when you have dirty airbrush, you drop into rubbing alcohol. For example, here, when we just came back from our event, we don't have time to clean. If you put all the rubbing alcohol this way, too much, the dirty paint is going to mix with the rubbing alcohol, and when it's dry, it's going to dry on the trigger, the air valve, to make it really hard for you to clean. You don't need to do that. Just put this much of rubbing alcohol, that will be good enough. Okay, so that's a trick that we use and save a lot of time, and hopefully it will help you to solve a lot of problems in terms of dry paint and clogging and dirty airbrushes. Just make sure your airbrush always need to be clean. The next one, we're going to show you how to take everything apart and do the deep cleaning for the airbrush. But if you do this as much as possible, and you could avoid doing lots of time to take everything apart. That's always really difficult and headache sometimes to do that. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.